Okay, so one of the ways in which we can find a topic that is related with education, because we know we are surrounded by education, we are in educational settings, is to try to focus on topics related to education and what are people doing in education nowadays. So we're starting Unit 2, undertaking research processes. And the learning outcome is proposed topics for educational investigation based on observation of problems arising during pedagogical practice. So this is a way of focusing on a topic that we can handle. We're going to see Waliman and Kumar also talk about focusing a topic that has a scope that we can handle, that we can do. And therefore, we're going to focus on our pedagogical practice because that's what we have nearest. And we have access to information. Remember that one of other element of the project will be access to background information from the setting. Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to share with you these two links. Este Congreso Interdisciplinario de Investigación en Educación was done in Chile 2 years ago. Yes, and there you can see topics in Spanish, areas of research in education. We have seen a little bit of them some weeks ago. But now I am going to share via chat so you can open this link. So you have the link. And I am going to share this link with you and another link in English. So you will see, we will be able to see the topics are around big areas of research. And we talked about this some weeks ago. Remember, we talked about areas in reference to practice, to teaching and learning. So in the classroom, specifically, topics that have to do with policy, políticas, policy in education that has to do with standards, laws of education. So that's another area of research. And some other areas of research are theoretical, yes, but we're going to concentrate on what is practical because we are thinking we're going to carry out this project, yes. So it's a project that can be carried out, that is practical, that can give you need to come to conclusions, yes. We are going to see Waliman talking to us about that. Okay, so I'm going to share these two links. You can access to these links. We are going to see the link in Spanish, but the other one in English has deals around the same topics. Do not worry. So that's for you to focus on everything that can be dealt with within education that can call our attention. Yes. So for example, here in Chile, what did they talk about 2 years ago? For example, política educativa, what we were saying, policy, yes? So here we talk about the law, administration, standards, quality of education, evaluation, but everything in a big scale, of course, yes? It's at the level of complete educational systems. But it's one of the possibilities. Another one is the one I was telling you, teaching and learning. That's nearer to us because we are in classrooms. We are working with mentor teachers. We have seen children in a way or other. And so we can talk about topics related to curriculum. Plus, you see this also in other subjects, in other modules in your career. So you can talk about contents. Remember, going very specific in English. For example, one favorite topic is vocabulary, teaching of vocabulary, teaching of one colleague of mine did his doctoral thesis on the teaching of the third person present simple with S for example, yes, he likes, she doesn't like. So imagine, you can go very, very, very narrow in a topic, yes, and how it is learned, and how they are learned, yes, these contents are learned by our students. So skills, pedagogical points of view, everything that has to do with carrying out the teaching. Now, this is evaluation in the classroom. So you have a module also with Professor Carla Foster, and she teaches you evaluation, but in the classroom, yes, within the process of teaching and learning. So other pedagogical areas and media, the mass media, ¿sí? Los medios de comunicación in general, but educational mass media are also in vogue nowadays. Then we have another area that is school administration, leadership, yes, everything that has to do with leadership and organization of schools, administration, organization, school. Clima escolar is something that also calls a lot of attention. That is a school environment and environments of learning. Remember, we do this, yes, learning environment in some modules. We did that last year, creación de un ambiente. So that can also be researched, okay? Then around the teachers, yes, what is, this is more something that I do, for example, teaching education, education of future teachers, or education of and development of teachers already, communities of learning, and teachers and their work in general. Okay, psychology in education. So here there are other topics that probably go a little bit out of our everyday life. Yes, everything that has to do with neuroscience, psychology, educational psychology. Probably we don't have the background, but you might probably after you have the modules related to this. This is again related to leadership and administration in relation to higher education, yes. So this is administration of higher education, post-grade programs, undergrad programs, yes, at the level of universities. Diversity and inclusion, and we saw this in one of the searches we did, remember, when we did the search of what was being developed, research last year, and we found a lot of diversity, inclusion, migration. So this is a topic that is happening a lot. And we might have that situation in our classrooms. Lucas presented an article on diversity, on how to attend to diversity in the classroom, in a school, with a case that he read about. But also quality, equity, yes, and migration. Remember that if we focus in Chile, we also have people that come from other countries, speak other languages, and that is also an addition to our school realities. Then, well, interculturality, again, diversity, well, for example, those that want to study English, the inclusion of English, and this linguistic diversity. Then genre, yes, here one of your classmates has talked about her interest about género, but the point here is that we need to try to focus on one setting. Otherwise, it will be just too theoretical and we will not be able to do it. So the presence of women, but could be studied, but from the point of view of our colleagues, yes, from schools, from teachers, yes, and how does this influence or not the profession, yes, prejudice, stereotypes. Okay, then other levels of education, technical education, young learners, inicial, yes, young learners. These are topics that our colleagues from from the Young Learners Program. The early childhood program can tell us a lot about relationship with families, education. You see that because according to what I see, what I know, for example, the practicum in early childhood education relates a lot to the families. You need to get to the families in order to get to the child. In elementary education, we also see that the parents are important actors there in the education of the children. So this is a topic that we can see in our educational levels. Then this probably is more theoretical history, society, history of education, yes, citizenship, ethics. And then this is maybe more practical, yes, the influence of ICT, informational and computer technologies, innovation. And this is a favorite topic, yes, in general for students in undergrad levels. Just because you have some background in technology and you are now in settings in which technology, as you have seen, can help you or not, and you need to solve problems and you're facing problems with technology every day. Innovation, well, educational practices, social media, network. I will be well in relation to education. Well, sometimes it could be very wide. Okay, and then everything that is related to investigation. So I thought all of these thematical topics were really very, very broad. You have a lot to research there, and you can read and decide on general thematic areas that you might be interested in. So that is why I thought about sharing this with you. But of course, we need to narrow down. That is too big. Of course, we need to focus. And now, just to be fair, if I could recover, I will show you the English, just to be fair with the English, with Irish. This is an interesting website as well, an interesting conference. Is the International Conference. Here it is the International Conference on Modern Research in Education, Teaching and Learning. Can you see? Can you see the website? You can also access with the links. The second link. Well, this is going to be this year. We can still participate. If you come with me, we can send our projects and we can participate there in August. If you go to call for papers, you will see the topics. So again, very general topics. The topics are related to education, theory, and practice. So again, we might try to avoid everything that is too theoretical, theory and practice, yes, research management. But pedagogy, curriculum, all of those are can be narrowed down easily. But this is in relation to practice, yes, to practicum, so to what we see in learning, teaching and learning. Here we have policy and administration, again, the rules, the laws, yes, as we saw. Child and family education, so early childhood education, again, it's a big topic, but we know we can narrow down, yes, into how are little children taught, the role of families. Special education is another area, home education, something that we have been doing in a way or other by having a virtual education. We also can tap into home education, elementary education, secondary education, all of the levels. Yes. Then learning, and this is again about learning, and lifelong learning means development, yes, teacher development as we continue learning along our lives. E-learning, yes, and others, yes. Here is ESOL, TESOL, for example, and education in different areas. So very, very big assessment, evaluation. As you can see, those are repetitive topics. And as you see, they are very wide because they expect people to participate with different areas of interest. Okay. So far, have you followed? Could you see? Okay, now, all of these thematic areas you will be able to read again, go through again. But going back to Walliman, and this is chapter 3 in Walliman, some of you have read it. You have the summaries shared by classmates. What does Walliman tell us to do? And also Kumar, also we will see a little bit about Kumar. We might have an interest in an area, yes, a thematic area. But what we need to do is to define a problem to conduct the project. So this project should be within an area, so it will be about teaching and learning. But we need, for example, we need to find this problem that we have in our heads. Probably we have observed that. Probably it's something that worries us. Yes, always in education, remember we work with people. We have been educated, therefore we also bring problems with us. Yes, and I am always angry because my teachers taught me mathematics very badly. And so I don't understand mathematics because I was taught in that way. So something that comes with me. Yes. And so sometimes we find those problems in those areas, in experience, in what we observe. Now we are observing the children in English practicum. We see how they learn or how they don't learn or the difficulties they have. So I might find this problem. And remember, teachers are great observers of reality because we're surrounded by people, by relationships, and by phenomena that have to do with people. So in this way, probably we can find in everything we have been experiencing this problem that we might be able to develop and research. So we need to formulate, so every research process requires the formulation of a problem, yes, that generates lots of other, that opens the doors to the generation of other areas, yes. For example, the objectives, yes, aims, also the data that we need to collect, yes, or how we're going to analyze that data. Also remember that by the end, we need to come to some conclusions, yes? And so this pathway, this process needs to be organized so that I go from step to step, but I am also able to come to conclusions. And whenever you seek for your papers, for your articles, you will see that you go to conclusions. One of the recommendations of this author I recommended you to read is go to the conclusions, go to conclusions section, because that means you have had a process, you have gone through steps, and you have come to results and answers, yes, answers to the problem, hopefully. Therefore, Walliman tells us the problem should be clear, concise. So we have just seen big areas, yeah? So here we have big areas, big thematic areas, but we have to narrow down, yes? Narrow down to a problem within this area, yes? So that is why we need to come to this agreement with our group. What are we going to focus? Then it has to be significant. Well, significant, yes, hopefully. Remember, everything is significant for me in my point of view according to my reality. Yeah. So for example, technology. Oh, that's so we have read 3 or 4 projects with technology last year, but it doesn't matter. It's not technology in itself. It's the situation in that specific setting, in a specific experience with technology. So remember, big themes, thematic lines, as we have seen, can be given new meaning. ¿sí? Todas estas áreas que son muy repetitivas pueden tener un significado nuevo, pueden ser significativas. So do not worry about that, because they will have, every topic and every problem will have a significance, because it solves or answers a question that is relevant to you, to your setting, to your children, to your experience. Okay, so do not worry much about, no, ICT, oh, that was done. Ya se hizo mucho de tecnología. No, don't think like that. It might have a new relevance in your setting, so pay attention to that. Then it should be, I think this is the most difficult, and this is difficult for everyone, even for researchers with much more experience, yes. So the problem should be delineated. It's not the teaching and learning of young learners. So it's very big. No, it's something specific. Again, the topic of vocabulary comes to my head. And we used to have a wonderful professor in vocabulary in my PhD program, but he was so nice to us, so nice that once we were 5 or 6 PhD students and 2 master students. And one day we told him, oh, dear professor, this is very interesting. And we did lots of exercises with learning of vocabulary. It was nice, but I was not interested in that topic. And once we told him, Professor, this is great, but we're not interested in this topic. So he gave us freedom to continue with other topics. So vocabulary, for example, is a topic that requires dedication, and he had mastered that knowledge. And it was necessary, of course, in TESOL, it is necessary for people to dedicate their research to the learning of vocabulary, for example. It might not be the interest of everyone, but that is a delineated topic. How do you teach vocabulary to beginner learners be online? Yes. So you need to, and to have a scope is young learners in 5, 6 years old in virtual education. So that is delineated and a scope. Yes, tienen un alcance, son esos niños de esas edades en esas condiciones. So I think that is one of the most difficult things to get, because we begin very big and then we need to go very, very narrow. Then it needs to be researchable. Yes, and this is something that everyone, so if you're in undergrad or in doctorate, you need to be able to do it. So one of my classmates in the doctoral courses told me that he wanted to work with refugees. There were lots of refugees in the United States, but he was thinking of Cambodia, a camp in Cambodia to do a pilot study. And I said, that's not possible. Because if you need the United Nations, if you need more people than you're not going to be able to do this project. Yeah, so it has to be doable. So that's why we also think to encourage you to think in your settings. Yeah, people you're working with, people that is near your topic, near your setting. Yes, so it needs to be able. You need to be able to do it. Yes, with the teachers, with the children, the families you work with. Think of that. And then you need to draw conclusions. So if you're not able to draw a conclusion, then the path is not finished. Si ese camino no se termina, no estuvimos bien en los pasos. Okay, is that clear up to here? Walliman, chapter 3? Is that clear? Do we need to repeat anything?
I think yes, it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. So you are paying attention. Okay, I am glad to have you awake. Now we will have a time to work with your groups, bring some tea so you wake up, because you will need to do some exercises. Okay, Walliman again. So Walliman presents us with these big questions, yes, big questions as guidance. So what are you going to do? Yes, so I'm going to research this big thematic area of innovation and technology. Yes, and I am interested in how little children learn through technology. So I begin thinking of how I can go narrower. Yes, to narrow down the topic. Why? Well, why? Something they always ask you, just because I'm working with these children, because this is our contingency area, because I need to learn for the future, to be able to reach my students with technology, to be able to teach little children vocabulary. Yes, this is going to be my future field of work. Also, remember, you are like in the middle of your career, but okay, this can open a door to my future. Yes, you're always thinking of that. How are you going to do this? Yes, so we're not going to a camp in Cambodia. No, right? We are not going to the Himalayas. No, we're going here in our setting. And how? How are we going to do this? How am I going to find this data? Yes, am I going to talk to the families, to the teachers, to the children? Probably children can answer some questions. Yes, how? But it's also within my scope, remember, yes, within my, con mi alcance, ¿sí? No grados en los Estados Unidos, no, es aquí, okay? So it's my scope. And when? Yes, when? Well, that we will do it, yes. We won't reach that area yet, but more or less you're thinking that, as I was telling you, more or less, if I establish good basis, next year I can do this. Yes, I can carry it out. I have the path done. ¿Sí? Si plantamos bien la semilla y vamos regando la semilla, quizás para el año que viene tenemos ya listo para hacerlo, para llevarlo a cabo. No lo vamos a pedir ahora, ¿verdad? Pero lo pensamos. Tiene que ser posible de hacerse y tiene que tener estos pasos. Okay, next. Kumar, chapter 4. So I downloaded this. I am going to be able to share with you this page only, Kumar, in which he establishes steps for this problem. Yes, so to formulate the problem. And I thought this is interesting, an interesting exercise for you to do in groups. You have to be very conscientious. Yes, you have to go to the point. Don't go through different branches. And in this, this is the photo, only the photo of this upper section of the page. And Kumar gives this example, yes. Domestic violence, as we were saying, yes. Vocabulary for early childhood, vocabulary in English for children. You have this big area. How do you go narrower? ¿Cómo hacemos para cortar? ¿Cómo hacemos para hacerlo más chiquito? Sub areas, yes. Buscar las subáreas de ese big, del área más grande. Okay, how do we do this? For example, in the case of domestic violence, profile of families, yes, profile of victims, profile of perpetrators, who are the people who are violent, why, so we can concentrate on the people who are violent, on the people who receive violence, reasons, yes, extent, types, impact on children, on the family. The services, remember policy, ¿sí? Las políticas siempre están presentes en todos los temas. ¿Sí? Services, policy, the state, the police, the government, what do they do with this topic? Effectiveness of services, extent in the community, etc. So you can have lots of sub areas within one of these areas. So this is an interesting exercise to be done with areas of your interest. Yes, so technology and ICT is very innovation, it's very big. So how do we narrow down the topic? So who use technology? Teachers use technology, children, families. Why do we use technology? Remember the questions by Wellman. Why? Why? Just why do we use technology? To teach, to learn, to play. And you might have lots of different answers here. So I have given you some examples just as they come to my head, but this is a nice example that we can follow together and then you do in your groups. Okay, Kumar. Kumar says that most probably, yes, the research in humanities revolve around the 4 Ps. So what are we going to analyze in general? What are the projects going to be in general in humanities? So they're going to be about people. Remember, we saw here, yes, for example, families, people who are violent, people who receive the violence, yes, people. Problems, so this is a problem. Domestic violence is a problem or a phenomena, yes, phenomenon. Phenomenon is the singular, phenomena is a plural in Latin. Then it could be around, could be problems in teaching and learning. And we have seen this in our practicum. How do we teach these children to understand by means of virtual classes? So this is something we, all the time, we face every day. Programs also, programs can be analyzed. And phenomena in general, yes, this is plural, no phenomenos. The phenomena of virtual education, for example, just to give you one idea. So here in this photo, this is also in some pages I have separated to share with you. So these aspects of education already help us in our research problem and in our project. So if you focus on people, you already have your population. Yes, I'm going to focus on individuals, on students, on teachers, on parents. Yes, on groups of teachers teaching together. Yes, because they have something in common. Groups of students learning together, communities. Yes, so they provide you with the required information for you to for you to collect information, yes, from them. So you're ready. If you're going to study people, then you already have your population there. Or it can give you your subject area. So you can research a problem, an issue, yes, a situation, the virtual education, ICT, technology in education, games through technology, yes. So they are like problems or phenomena. Those are the subject areas. Those also provide you with a subject area. Associations, yes. For example, in my master's, one of my classmates researched the teachers associations, for example, in Brazil. She was from Brazil, so teachers association. So that's another, could be a community, but also could be treated as an object of study. Needs, population, composition, profiles, program. Yes, we can study the program. Yes, I can study the curriculum of our career, the structure, the contents. Yes, I can also evaluate the program. That's a type of research. There is when we see satisfaction, results, etc. So programs can also be studied. And then phenomena of different kinds. Yes, cause and effect, relationships. Yes, with the phenomena. For example, the phenomena of migration in schools in Chile. That can be a phenomenon that you're living now because you have a great quantity of foreign people coming to the country, and therefore that causes a phenomenon to be able to be worth study. So information that you need to collect. So here you have the information that you need to collect, yes, to find answers to your questions. Okay, so I think in general, so we know we're going to study any of these areas. We're going to study people, we're going to study a problem. A program probably not at this level. Once you are researchers in postgraduate, you can study a program probably. Or a phenomenon, something that calls your attention because it's something noticeable in your setting. Okay, so my proposal is that I'm going to share this chart by Kumar, and you are going to work in groups to formulate your research problem. So Kumar establishes 3 steps. The 3 first steps need to be analyzed by you. So the first step is the broad field. Yes, so the broad field is teaching and learning, yes, technology, evaluation, what else? With the gender, with big topics. Then you go into the sub area. Yes, so all of this you have to like decompose, see? Componer is a big topic. We can do together one example. And 3, what is most interesting to you? Yes, remember we can't go with a very big area. No, we can't. So we need to go through this path. So, oh, it's lost here by the end. Okay. So here is our challenge. Okay. Entonces, one topic together. Which topic do we choose? From the ones we saw here, one that is easy. Educación digital. Uso pedagógico de TICs. That's a favorite. Well, it's only an example, yes? So we do an example. Yes?
Okay.
Uso pedagógico de TICs. Is it a problem? It's about people, problem, program, no, o fenómeno. Uso pedagógico de TICs. No, people. According to Kumar, I would say it's a phenomenon. Do we agree? Is it a phenomenon?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's a phenomenon, something that is happening more and more, and we have experienced as, yes, as invading us from everywhere, yes. But it's an old topic, no es nuevo, es viejo, pero como que se va resignificando y es un fenómeno que nos invade por todos los flancos, ¿verdad? Okay, different levels, even early childhood, higher education, your case. So for us also, now we are planning a master's degree that also needs to use TICs. So again, this is something that it will accompany us from now on. Okay, now we're going to dissect this area. Okay, what are we going to say about uso pedagógico de TICs? In Spanish, come on, everyone can participate. This is a challenge. Vamos, todos pueden participar en español. Recuerden, subáreas. ¿Cómo dividimos? Uso pedagógico de las TICs. ¿Qué ponemos primero? Students, future teachers. Ay, con Kumar.
I will open the book of Kumar.
Kumar, sí, página 61.
Podría ser efectividad del uso del
sí,
pedagógico de
perfecto.
las TICs.
Efectividad del uso de TICs. Bien.
El impacto del uso de los...
Ay, cómo les gusta. Todas cuantitativas. Yo las quiero ver haciendo todos los estudios de efectividad de impacto. Pero está lindo, lindo. Impacto del uso de TICs. Ok. Okay, efectividad, impacto, that's those two favorite ones. Yes. What else? Uso pedagógico. Es muy amplio, muy amplio. ¿Cómo lo podemos quebrar más? Muy amplio. Efectividad del uso de TICs en...
Miss no está compartiendo la pantalla.
Perdón.
En elementary school.
En claro, en la
Mm,
escuela básica, en
los
la,
primeros
en la
niveles.
escolaridad básica, en la escolaridad inicial. Yes. Ujú. Vamos a achicar, acuérdense que tenemos que achicar, si no es muy grande. Escolaridad básica.
Puede
Escolaridad
ser,
inicial, superior, en la educación superior.
puede ser para utilizarla en un área en específico, como para aprender a leer.
Claro, efectividad del uso de TICs en escolaridad básica inicial en el aprendizaje de la lectura. Yes.
Sí.
Ok. De la lectura. Ok. No, tengo que pensar cómo hacerlo. Ok. Impacto. Ok, el impacto. Son los resultados, ¿verdad? El uso de TICs, ¿sí? En escolaridad también. Básica. O inicial. Superior, bueno, todos los niveles, ¿verdad? Impacto inicial. En enseñanza, aprendizaje, y bueno, podemos ver ahí. Yes. Aprendizaje de la lectura, la matemática, la música, el inglés. Ok. Ahí estamos en áreas, ¿verdad? Que son de aspecto numérico. Vamos a encontrar un fenómeno, ¿verdad? Que lo vamos a poder vamos a poder dar una descripción a través de números, de cantidades. ¿Qué más podemos estudiar del uso pedagógico de las TICs? Miren que acá en la violencia doméstica también hay otras áreas implicadas. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué nos estamos olvidando?
Puede ser, profesor, la posibilidad de conectividad de todos los estudiantes.
Las herramientas que utilizamos.
Herramientas, ajá, bien. Las herramientas, bien. Las herramientas y la conectividad. Herramientas y posibilidades de conectividad. Conectividad en zonas, y Javier está hablando desde una experiencia personal en zonas de difícil acceso, ¿verdad? La escuela de Javier queda en la montaña, en Paso Cuñado, es subiendo de Miraflores, en la montaña, y es muy complejo. Esta escuela prácticamente no se conecta con sus estudiantes. Ok, entonces ese es un fenómeno, ¿sí? Las posibilidades de conectividad en las zonas de acceso y qué exactamente con eso. ¿Qué vemos con esas posibilidades de conectividad en zonas de difícil acceso al internet?
Estrategias para utilizar las TICs que sea accesible a todos los estudiantes.
Esas estrategias para potenciar, sí, potenciar el acceso de los estudiantes, ¿bien? De los estudiantes, para potenciar el acceso de los estudiantes a al uso de las TICs. Vale. Ok. Hasta ahora, bien, las herramientas para usar, ¿verdad? Las TICs en en la pedagogía, ¿verdad? En la didáctica. Ok, ¿qué área nos estamos dejando fuera? Hemos visto todo lo que tiene que ver con el fenómeno, hemos visto varias áreas del fenómeno, ¿verdad? El impacto, la efectividad, la influencia entre variables, un poco dificultad de acceso, pero sin embargo hay estrategias para implementar, estrategias solamente. ¿Qué otra área del fenómeno no estamos viendo, no hemos mencionado hasta ahora? Y que podría ser interesante.
¿Se dijeron los recursos existentes?
Los recursos, las herramientas. Estamos pensando en todo.
Profe, ¿y puede ser
Objetos.
como las como inseguridades que puede producir el uso de TICs?
Ah, ok, hay una parte más humana, ¿verdad? Hay seres
Ujú.
humanos detrás de esto, ¿o no?
Sí, o sea, yo
Ajá.
lo veo de dos perspectivas. Una, como, no sé, usar redes sociales, o que muchas veces hay como estereotipos de género que también se
Ujú.
proyectan en las TICs, en los mismos juegos y
Claro,
cosas, que a
claro.
veces uno ocupa como recurso pedagógico,
Ujú.
y también lo veo como por la parte, no sé, si uno está en clase y se mete alguien que no corresponde a la clase.
Claro. Sí, sí, exactamente. Entonces, hay varios temas, Sofía. A ver, recapitulemos. Por un lado, sería...
La Sofi me hizo pensar en la alfabetización del uso de las TICs por parte de
Sí,
los docentes.
exacto. Pero hay un área que nosotros, miren acá, en el tema de la violencia, cuando hablamos de las personas, ¿sí? Porque
Ujú.
esto también podría afectar a las personas. Entonces, como un área para que cada tema, veamos todas las áreas posibles, no nos olvidemos que hay impacto, hay políticas, hay efectividad o falta de efectividad, acceso o no acceso, estrategia, pero hay víctimas, hay personas, por ejemplo, en el caso de la violencia, que nosotros también podemos considerar como un área, ¿sí? Porque este uso de las TICs también involucra a seres humanos. Entonces, Sofía dijo algo como la percepción, which was it? Perception, o las actitudes fueron, actitudes de profesores. Entonces ahí nos dejamos un área fuera de las posibilidades. Luego me voy por lo que a mí me parezca más posible de hacer o de mayor interés, pero para que disectar el tema no nos queden áreas que no consideramos esta área. Porque si se fijan en el ejemplo de Kumar, hay más, pero él es bien abarcativo en distintas áreas. Actitudes de profesores y estudiantes. Entonces ahí estoy viendo, hay una parte humana, hay un impacto, quizá hay una efectividad, hay un aprendizaje o no, pero hay humanos que usan las TICs y que tienen una experiencia, por ejemplo. Actitudes de profesores y estudiantes en el uso de las TICs. Creo que por ahí va Sofía. Y luego ya se fue a un área que es lo que a ella le interesa, que es el género. Y tiene que ver con estereotipos y... ¿es ese el otro tema? Estereotipos de género.
Sí,
Hello.
estereotipos de género y cómo eso puede producir inseguridades.
Eso, eso influencia, no le
Ujú,
pongamos nombre, estamos como hipotetizando que hay una inseguridad.
ujú.
Ok. O puede ser una pregunta dentro de este tema, dentro de este problema. Estereotipos de género y su influencia en los, en las personalidades de los niños, en su aprendizaje, ¿en qué?
Yo creo que en el aprendizaje.
En el aprendizaje, ¿bien? El aprendizaje, sí, de los niños, ¿bien? De los niños, o en la conducta, puede ser, sí, eso creo que está, no sé si está estudiado, pero se ve que los estereotipos de género en juegos tecnológicos, sí afecta un poco el comportamiento de los niños. ¿Sí? Eso influencia en el aprendizaje de los niños, en la conducta de los niños. Ok. Ok. Entonces, luego está el tema de las redes, pero en cuanto sea un uso pedagógico. Creo que era lo que decía Bárbara. El uso de las redes, sí, sociales. Las redes sociales se proyecta mucho, por ejemplo, en blogs de profesores en los Estados Unidos, el uso de Instagram para una tarea, para hacer una tarea, por ejemplo. Eso sucede, se hace como técnica, como recurso para apoyar el aprendizaje. Puede suceder, puede existir. ¿Yes? Uso de redes sociales en el apoyo de tareas pedagógicas. Pero no estoy segura si esa era. ¿Si era Bárbara?
Fue
Y ahí,
la que habló del uso de las redes sociales. Yo había dicho sobre la alfabetización de los docentes respecto al uso de las TICs, porque pasa que no todos están familiarizados con las tecnologías, entonces no las llevan a cabo de forma adecuada.
Claro, acá otra vez vamos hacia esta área de los profesores, los estudiantes. Exacto. Exacto. Entonces, en el uso de las TICs. Perfecto. Hemos hecho un buen ejemplo y no hemos dejado áreas fuera, ¿verdad? Hemos tratado de ver un perfil desde lo humano y el uso de la TIC y también un impacto o una efectividad o falta de efectividad o acceso, ¿verdad? A lo que es exactamente digamos, el concepto en sí y la posesión o el uso efectivo de estas herramientas. Entonces, es un ejemplo para que ustedes vean que es posible, es una base de brainstorming, y luego ahí nos quedamos con una que es de la mayor interés, y alrededor de eso es que nosotros luego vamos a poder, ya aquí en este otro, cuando nos volvamos a juntar, ya es directamente dictarme los problemas, cómo han podido llegar a achicar esa big area, ¿verdad? A algo bien manejable y que todo el mundo pueda encontrar un camino, encontrar bibliografía, encontrar los antecedentes, estudios que se hayan hecho en el área. Porque recuerden que esa es la base para nuestra research agenda. ¿Ok? People? ¿Estamos de
Yes, miss.
acuerdo?
Sí,
Ok, perfecto. Entonces hicimos un buen camino hasta aquí. Entonces hacemos ahora sí el recreo, pero ya programado, no forzado. Hacemos el recreo, nos juntamos, luego se junta, me mandan al chat los grupos y ya los divido en grupos para que elijan estos temas. ¿Estamos de acuerdo? Ok, girls. The position of discussing some topics that you could discuss. Siguiendo a Kumar, so we were following Kumar and his exercise to narrow down different topics within a big topic, so as to narrow down to a problem that, as Walliman says, is clear. Yes, so, but remember, this is the first trial. Yes, we're going to continue every class. We will continue narrowing down your problems. Yes, but it should be as clear as possible, concise, significant. Don't pay attention, but delineated within a scope. Is in elementary school with children learning online at a school in Longaví. Is within a scope. Children 4 and 5-year-olds working with families online in such and such a place. So it's within a scope. Possible to be researched. It has to be possible. And possible to draw conclusions. Okay. And remember, we will be talking in general about problems, phenomena or people. Yeah, probably programs, not just because we don't have the elements to go as far as analyzing a program, but the other, I think you are more in a condition to do. And so you should have at the least discuss some sub areas within a big area. Yes, so in this case was the pedagogical use of TICs, something which is very much in vogue. And we brainstormed in Spanish different sub areas within that big area. Okay, now it's yours time to dictate to me more or less which were your big ideas. Write them down. Si ahora las tienen escritas, vamos a seguir refinando por grupo. Remember, we keep on working every class because we need to narrow down probably some of the topics, some of the problems we still might need to narrow down. So do not worry. Okay. Which group wants to share first? ¿Quién quiere compartir primero? People? One topic, one problem you have been talking about. Who wants to start? One.
With my classmate,
Okay,
the problem is how a stereotype of gender affects children in TICs or in games.
Gender stereotypes, how gender stereotypes affect, no, we can see that later. Affect children through the use of something like that, of TICs and games.
Yes.
Okay, we will remember this is a first trial. We will be developing this further, okay? But it's a good trial. Okay, another group. Barbara.
No problem. We can talk about the teaching and learning, but the didactic, and we are thinking in a problem in this area.
Teaching and learning. Teaching and learning.
Maybe teaching and learning in pandemic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Teaching and learning in GEM it's very big. But we can continue narrowing down, but write it down so you don't forget. Yes. Teaching and learning in pandemic. But remember, it's elementary school. We need to narrow down a little bit more. So a little bit narrow down, but we need more. Yes. In elementary school, just keep on thinking. Yes, it's an ongoing process.
maybe municipal schools, because they have more problem for connect, or rural areas. I don't know. Municipal and rural areas. I don't know.
Schools and rural areas. Areas in pandemic. Yes, great topic. Great. I like it, though we need to keep on developing, but write it down. It's a good topic. Remember, you need to find out now the different articles for your research agenda, okay? Next, Araceli. I will keep this, and next Thursday we keep on going a little bit deeper and deeper and refining
Profesora, es que
this.
nosotras todavía no decidimos un tema, pero tenemos hartas opciones, pero todavía no nos decidimos una.
Okay, but which a big area? Do you have the big area? Probably we can help.
Javi, tú lo tienes.
Teacher, the big area is the rural education or education in isolated place.
In isolated
Lugares
place.
aislados. Y tenemos hartas subáreas.
Okay, but you're deciding still. In isolated. Yes, and we need still sub areas. Okay, so those sub areas we will discuss next class. Yes, remember that you need to find articles on this topic for the research agenda. Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so but we are on a good track. Yes. Another one. Carolina. No, Carolina. Let me check. Carolina. Carolina Rios. Do you have any?
With Carolina, we find some issues or problems about TPR. For example, the issues of physical motors.
Physical, yes.
For the total physical response.
Issues. It's in total physical response, I remember. But it could be issues to discover.
Issues for the children that have.
Issues of with children who have motor problems.
Yes.
Okay. So children will. Okay, still very wide. Anyway, try to look for sub areas. Yes. Are you going to focus on the children, on the teacher, on the families?
Okay.
Motor problems as appearing. I think it refers more to the teachers, probably, as appearing in a total physical response. So it's a challenge for teachers. I'll see from that point of view, but we keep on thinking. Remember that one of the big areas in the Congress here in Chile was diversity and discapacidad. So I think it's in the area of discapacidad. And that's another challenge for teachers, because diversity in the classroom also implies, yes, foreigners, people speaking another language, or children with disabilities. So it's within the area of disability. Let us keep thinking, but it's a great topic. I like it. Congratulations. Yes, I remember about the TPR. Yes, I like all of them. the more, as I said, the more you narrow down, the more you work, you try to find literature now, the more you will see whether you continue with this and you keep on going deeper next semester and the beginning of next year. And your project, by the end, it will be just, oh, okay, we have done this. We have gone through this so many times that we are doing it very easily. So hopefully this will be the result, the final result, that you can do it without problems. You defend in November next year and you're happy, one step nearer to your degree. So we will all be celebrating by then. Great, great. I like the topics. Then there is Jasmine and the other Carolina. I think you are the ones left.
It's me with Valentina Rojas.
Carolina and Valentina.
Yes. The topic is the impact of the different ways from teach between the education public and private.
Private and public. Oh, okay, that's very big again, but still we need to look for sub areas. Impact, teaching, results will be very, very big. Yes. Teaching results. It's a comparison. Yeah? Okay, we need to think of sub areas. Yes. This is probably this is a national project. Yes. So it's not. So we need to narrow down a little bit. Comparison of the impact in teaching results in public and private schools.
Yes.
Public schools. Yes, it's too big. My recommendation is to is that we go narrower, yes, into a setting that you know now, the setting you're working with now. Is it public? Is it private? And which are the situations they are living? Yes. The institution is facing now. Yes, going narrower, ¿sí? Yendo un poco más a lo más, más preciso en la escuela donde están ahora, si es pública o si es privada y qué problemas o issues en general hay ahí, o si hay algún impacto o algún resultado en especial. It could be that, yes, but we need to narrow down, yes. Okay, any other? But good, those are good topics. We only need to keep on working. That's not a problem, we have time. But remember, you are also, why is this? Remember that we also have a situation that is to find out the articles. So bear in mind that you need to find the articles for these topics. So just to help you in that, in regards to that. And there is anyone else? Jasmine? Okay, one more topic, problem. Well, I think we have made great progress. We have made progress. Remember, we were still further from this area, and now we are nearer. Let us keep thinking. Every week there will be a point in which we go through this again. Remember, you will have your own document, a running document, where you will be able to write down everything new we do, everything we add, all of the different areas that we add. So you will be developing all of these problems deeper, yes, and working more with them and with the literature. So now, what I want you to tell me is, if you have, now that we have the topic of interest, we have narrowed down this problem, if you are able now to complete the research agenda and give me an example, if any one of you, so I know Sophia has an article, she can help us fill in this one example for this chart so that the rest of the groups continue doing this. Remember, next class, we need to go back from the problem, from this slide of the problems. You will, each group will go one step further in narrowing down the topic, the problem, yes, so the problem. Then you will have, everyone needs to have an article for the research agenda. You need to have more, but this is something you need to do, yes? At the least one, al menos un artículo sobre esa problemática ya acotada. From there, we will work with questions or hypotheses, depending, yes? You will have to decide. And then you continue working with your articles. So every week, we will go one step further. Yes? Is that clear? ¿Está claro? Cada semana vamos un paso más, agregando un elemento más, ¿sí? Regando la semilla. Entonces, okay, now, Sophia will give us an example of her problem and research article. And everyone will do the same next class. I wanted you to have time to go through the process of search. We will do one example next class, hopefully, so that we have now an example of an article. So Sophia, Sebania, Sophia, Arancibia are talking about the stereotypes, gender stereotypes in TICs and the use of TICs and games, which the children do. And they have found articles in this area. So Sophia, can you share with us? So here is the reference to the complete article. Remember that uploaded to Educandus, you have the guide, se llama Guía para la realización de trabajos de investigación. Está subida a Educandus y en una sección está la citación. Recuerden que también cuando buscan los artículos en ProQuest One Academic, inmediatamente tienen acceso a la cita y la tienen que poner acá. ¿Sí? Do you remember that? ¿Se acuerdan que lo hicimos en el taller con el profesor?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Okay. So that is easy to get. Yes. So the reference you immediately write here. Okay, Sophia, you found an article. What is the article about? Or what is the title at the least so we have an idea?
I am
Searching.
search my.
Okay, so here, remember that you have different ways of reading. We are going to revise that again so that you're able to find quickly which is the article that is useful for your problem, for your topic and your problem. So you will you have a method of reading in different stages just to discover what is the most important areas to bear in mind. Remember that you need to know in general what is the study about. Remember, they are research studies, research projects, not theoretical articles. Not articles that talk about a theory, a paradigm. No, it's a research project. And you know that by reading the abstract. So you know if it was a qualitative, a quantitative study, if they conducted interviews, a survey, everything is in the abstract. So from there, you have the study methods and how was data collected immediately. So that's quickly. And then the conclusions. So you can go from the abstract, the introduction to the conclusion. And in that way, you have a quick view of the research and of the research article and how it was conducted. Okay, Sophia, do you have an example?
Yes. The first is what is
the name of the article, yes, and the reference, well, you have it, yes. So you have a complete reference, yes.
The name is Gender Stereotypes in Childhood.
Gender, that's the title.
Yes, that's the title.
Gender stereotype, you have author, year, all the citation.
All. Yes,
perfect.
We have all the...
Yes, gender stereotypes, yes. Stereotype in childhood.
Childhood, yes.
Childhood. So that's the title. But then also when referring to articles, what we do is to refer to the author and the year. So we say, I don't know, Brown 2020. And there we refer to what is specific and important in that specific article. So for you to know, so this is only the title, but we have the author, the year, yes, where it was published, and all of the rest. Okay, what is the research study about?
Analyze the gender stereotype in children of 5 years old in different aspects. For example, the favorite color.
Stereotypes. So analysis of stereotypes with 5-year-old children.
Yes.
Children. For example, the color. Color.
Yes.
Color. Okay. Which is the method they follow?
The method is quantitative.
So it's that's the methodology. And do they follow any experimental design or?
They interview and make questionnaires for the children, and later they create a graphic.
Quantitative, but apparently they have like the qualitative data, but they conduct quantitative analysis with, do they do a survey or question? Survey, well, search that correctly, yes. So how do they collect data? By doing interviews?
Yes, interviews and questionnaires. The most important was the questionnaires because they make a question to children. For example, what is your favorite color? And the majority of boys say blue, and the majority of girls say pink. So they recollect all these.
Yes, so it's like, yes, it's almost a kind of survey, we can say. Es como una encuesta.
Yes.
It's more like a survey, yes. So search, because in the abstract, you need to have whether it is quantitative or qualitative, yes. Participants, we said 5-year-old children, 5-year-old children, that's the plural, so no S necessary, children. And you might also refer to the number, were they 100 children?
Was 100, 165.
165 5-year-old children. So yes, it's quantitative, and they focus a lot on a survey. But probably if they interview, probably could be mixed.
Yes,
they
it's
have
like
really qualitative data. Yes, so it's mixed method. Yes, so all of this information is in the abstract. So you don't mix method. So you need to don't need to go further even. Okay, and the conclusion? Or at least one conclusion?
Yes, the conclusion is exist a different choice between girls and boys, and that happened for the context. If
differences in choice.
yes,
In choices between boys and girls.
yes.
Okay. And they might conclude this is influenced by stereotypes, by culture, by games, by...
Yes, it's for the context. For example, this experiment was in Spain, but I think in Chile, and in Chile we have a patriarchal system, so it's so common. The girl is in the kitchen, for example. So it's for the context, and for this is important examining the curricular basis for the language and consider all of children.
Yes,
No.
exactly. Yes, exactly. And also, for example, I remember because of my area, books of to teach English. They were also analyzed according to racial areas, also gender roles. So if there were the girls, the women, the men, what were they doing? And if there were only white, blue-eyed people in the book, and so on and so forth. So that is, those studies exist. They are done on people or with objects like books, analyzing books, or you can analyze bases curriculares, curriculum, content being taught. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You can also analyze documents. Excellent, excellent. So this is a phenomenon. They are studying people, but this is also a phenomenon on the use of or the excessive access to technology that children have, games and so on and so forth. And sometimes we also need to analyze what is behind those. Excellent. So I think you have a great example. We will continue. We catch up from here next class. Remember, we are all going in progress, yes? So establish a basis. This is a basis. And from there, we continue going, yes? So next class, we are not going back, we're going forward. So I really need you to be present, come to class, and participate, because otherwise you will get behind, and we don't want that. Okay, so just as a roundup, in time for reflection, what did we learn today? What can you tell? We learned we talked about different things, but something you remember? Come on. One topic about what is it? Remember, what did we learn? We went from, remember, the big areas. Do you remember? From the areas of thematic areas in research.
And the sub areas.
To go to the sub areas and to establish a problem, yes, within those big areas. Okay. Yes, Barbara?
You cannot share the screen.
Okay. So that's why you didn't answer. Okay, thank you. So here, yes, we learned about big thematic areas and how to narrow down, yes, through an exercise to narrow areas to establish a research problem, yes? Wide areas of research in education. So go back to the big areas, yes, in Spanish, in English, try to read again everything, try to find out, if you're not comfortable with what you did today, do it again on your own and So the next class we can go a step further, yes? Wide areas of research and education and how to narrow them down to a research problem. Yes, exactly. Problem. Yes, we also revised how to complete the research matrix. So the sooner you have your problem, yes, and your big area and your problem, the sooner you will complete the research agenda. So we learned about an example for the research agenda. All right. One question, do you have any question? Do you have any question?
Now we will have the meeting about the task now.
Yes,
Before
now at 12 is about task 1 and 2. If you didn't receive my email, you are all right with those tasks. Okay, so people that received my email, if you have a doubt, just ask me. But there are people who are okay, yes? Hay gente que recibió mi email. Okay, so next class, 10th of June. 10th of June. Okay, so your tasks that are behind, ¿sí? Las tareas atrasadas, ya esto está en manos de ustedes. Yo me junto hoy con personas de que tienen problemas tarea 1 y tarea 2. Nos vamos a juntar también por la 3 y 4, ya les adelanté. Pero por favor, si hay tareas no hechas, ya es responsabilidad de ustedes. Yo tengo que revisar 80 tareas y creo que voy en las 65. O sea, hay 15 tareas que no están hechas. Para nada. Okay? So, be careful with this. Then, continue with materials for your workshop 2. Yes, if you have already decided on your problem, you're nearer, yes, keep on, start searching for these articles for the research agenda, yes, workshop 2 task, research agenda. So you have a step forward, you have something more done, yes. We keep on going next class. And so I think you have a lot in here, but in case you don't have a research problem, do the exercise we have done. You could download the PPT and you go step by step, the same as we did in class. And you do it again, yes, in case you do not have a research problem, please do follow the steps done in class to reach that point, yes? So as much as we practice, then it is easier and we will feel comfortable with the topic. Next class, I'm also going to speak to groups. So please speak to people you want to work with. I need you connected with this, please. The sooner the better we work, the sooner we finish. And remember, we still need the grades for this last task. Okay, so keep working. So workshop 2 is clearer now, since you have a problem, you're nearer to a problem, so you can start working with that. Okay, so I will upload this. I will upload Kumar, those pages, which are very useful to Educandos, week 12. But remember, you also have workshop 2 in week before. It was uploaded before. I do not know whether it was week 10 or week 9. And then I will also upload the format for the project, which will be an ongoing document. Yes, that will be a Word document following a format, And in that one, you will work in your project, just rewriting your project. So I think that is I think that is everything we have for today. If you have any question, I will show you the cover page in case I can share. And if you have any questions, please ask me. If not, I see you now. When I disconnect from here, I will connect to the other link, and we talk about the tasks that you have missing. So we are already ready. If you want to ask a question.
Okay.
Okay, Jasmine is here. Or I think she was disconnected for a moment. Okay,